something that has been extremely useful for me is this project right here, LaTeX boilerplates, which is a project to produce great looking documents using simple markdown files. So this uses LaTeX, obviously, and also Pandoc. And in particular, it uses Pandoc's template system. So in this project right here, and I'll show you what's actually going on under the hood, but this LaTeX boilerplates project by this guy, Mr. Zool, I don't know, has 3 document types, letter, CV, and invoice. And I've used letter and invoice, and I don't really care about CV, so I haven't used this, but it's all basically the same. So it all works the same. And he has also written a pretty lengthy article on typesetting automation, so the exact system he came up with, and yeah, how he goes about doing this and why, and all the stuff. Yeah, and again, it uses Pandoc templating, the Pandoc templating system. So if we go into Pandoc documentation, we have this section about templates, and it's pretty lengthy and goes into all the details. Use $, variable $, to get the value of a variable and all this stuff. And we have conditionals, so if else and for loops and yeah, all this stuff. Great. So how do you use this? Pretty simple. You clone the Git repository, for example, for this invoice boilerplate, so which I have done right here. And if you clone it, you have all these files, and the ones that are most interesting are the template, so template.tech, and the details file. If we take a look at the template, we'll see it's LaTeX, like we know and love it. But also with this Pandoc syntax. So, for example, right here, let me make this a bit bigger. So right here we have an if. So if some variable, then insert this with this variable. So, and yeah, if not, then don't do that. Yeah, I think we also have a for loop. Yeah, for example, right here, pretty simple for loop. And the variables this uses are located in the details file. So this is a YAML file, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so right here we have different variables. For example, the invoice number, which is set to this value right here, or the author, and so on and so forth. And here we have a list, for example. So this to variable is a list with these list items. So we can iterate over them with for, like we just saw in the template. We also can have nested elements or items, I don't know. And we can have like a paragraph of text, not only simple lines. Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward. And if we now call make, because this uses a make file, okay, let's remove this output file and call make. And it calls this Pandoc command, which is pretty straightforward. And so when I use this for like real life purposes, TM, I don't actually use make because it makes, sometimes it's kind of annoying. So for example, like you just saw, or if we now call make, if we now call make, it tells us output.pdf is up to date, which is kind of annoying when you are, for example, so you can have, if we take a look at the details file again, if we get out there, you can have a letterhead, which is basically just a PDF which gets put into the background. And it's kind of annoying when you change the letterhead and then call make, and it tells you, well, output.pdf is already up to date, nothing to worry about. And you're just like, no, I want to overwrite this PDF. I've made changes, and the make file doesn't detect those. So yeah, I don't usually not use this. I usually just call this command right here. And yeah, because when I call this, I want to recreate output.pdf. Okay, so far so good. So these are just some details that are not that important. So if we take a look at output.pdf, we see it looks absolutely atrocious because it uses a font which I have not installed. So it falls back on something else, which we'll fix in a second. But I mean, you can look at it. It's an invoice, but let's fix that actually first. So what I don't have installed is this Helvetica Neue, and we can replace it by IBM plug sans. Yeah, and if we now call this again, or make, I mean make would work as well, and open this, and I mean we can open this like this. We see it actually looks pretty good. I mean you can print this out now, or you could print this out now and send it via mail or whatever, like via actual mail, or you can of course send this PDF via email, or like do whatever you want with it. It's a PDF. Yeah, so the generation process is again pretty straightforward. And now if we want to make changes, we can just go into this details file, make some changes, for example to the author, let's do this, or to the date. Yeah, this project is is a decade old by this point. Let's do this for example. What else can we do? I don't know, let's do 19%. Oh yeah, we can also, well no, let's actually first do this, and yeah, why did I close that? Let's open it again. And you can see, so this was changed, this down here was changed. And if we now, for example, we want to add some service, another service provided by me, and call make, or this Pandoc command, we see it gets updated. And the nice thing here is this math is done within LaTeX, so you don't have to worry about like calculating the value added tax or the total or the subtotal or anything like that. This whole thing does it automatically for you. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, you just, for example, this position thing is also automatically added and stuff like that. So everything just works like you'd expect it to work, and you don't have to worry about like annoying stuff which doesn't have anything to do with what you are trying to accomplish. So yeah, let's see what else can I show. Oh yeah, you can also change the geometry down here, so we can make this a A5, but I mean A4 is the standard. So and we can also change like this here to have like greater more margin, so to make it narrower. Yeah, that didn't really work, I think. Yeah, you have to kind of be careful because of this table right here. I don't think it works with everything, and I've changed this so much to be honest that yeah, I'm not quite sure what works with the default anymore. Yeah, so okay, but we can change like the top margin to like something a bit greater, and this should work. Yeah, so yeah, again, you can change all the details here, and you can also of course edit the template to add like extra stuff. So for example, one thing I've added for invoices is to have a second page where I list all the the time it took for different services and whatnot, which also just uses a table, which was pretty straightforward and simple to implement. Or as I've mentioned before, you can add a PDF to your, so I mean it says in the details file, it says letterhead, because this is if we go back here, this is intended to have like, so you can do something like this to have like a nice letterhead. But there's no reason you can't use this to have like something down here, or like a logo up here, or something. So anything you can do pretty much with this, because it's pretty simple and pretty flexible, and yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's really much else to show with this. I mean, you just have to have like some actual use case, and then you'll pretty much figure it out pretty quickly on your own, I think, and adapt it to your use case. And yeah, this is I think the best way to automatically generate PDFs for invoices and letters, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't really have more document types you need on a daily basis, I think. And the CV thing is nice if you need a CV, but it's not something you like where you would generate like, I don't know, dozens of files, of different files. Oh yeah, and I want to mention this if it's not obvious. I mean, this YAML file is pretty, like the syntax here is pretty simple, so you can pretty easily generate something like this automatically, or by some other script that you've written. So I've written like web applications which have like some kind of form, and the user enters some fields, some input, and then the input fields get sent to the server, and the server generates this YAML file and calls the Pandoc command, and this generates a PDF. So yeah, stuff like that is really, really simple to do with this project. Or, well, Pandoc templates in general, but this gives you a really good starting point, I think. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this. I just wanted to share this great project because it has been a tremendous help for me in like different aspects of my life, and I have not really seen this covered. I don't really remember how I've stumbled onto this, to be honest. But yeah, this is really great. So go ahead and try it out if you have a use case for it, and yeah, have a nice day. In the video, I tried to adjust the side margins, and it miserably failed, as you've seen. And I just quickly wanted to show you how to fix that, because in the version I use, I fixed it and it always works. So I was kind of confused why it didn't work, but I remembered. And that is because in this spread tab, which is the package used for tables here, we use this tabular, table class, I don't know what you want to call it, and we set right here the actual columns get set. So this first column is left aligned, this last column is right aligned, and this column in between is, well, I guess it's a paragraph, and it has a fixed width of 8.2 centimeters. So that's the reason why you can't adjust the side margins as you please, because this is fixed. So, and when I first tried to solve this, and this is also the reason why I want to show you this, it was kind of a pain in the ass, because I tried to, well, let's just remove that. Let's just remove that like this, and it didn't work. It didn't compile. Okay, and well, long story short, I figured out that you need to use not the tabular class, but the tabular x class. Or class, like, I don't know if it's called a class, but I'll just call it class. And you have to also import, so I've added these added comments here. You also have to import the package, or use the package with use package tabular x. And it is probably installed if you have installed some LaTeX, like all the LaTeX packages or whatnot. So you do that, then you do this text width parameter, I don't know. Well, I think that's needed to tell this package like what's the actual width it can use. And then you can do the same thing up here, with left aligned and right aligned. But now instead of having to like set the width and having to like fiddle around with this parameter, you can just use upper X, so uppercase X, to tell it, well, just fill it in, like just use the rest that's not used already. And as you can see now, it works. So this is like with smaller, well, I want to save this, with smaller margins. So if we go down there, we can now set whatever we want, and it should just work. Pandoc. Yeah, you see, it works perfectly fine. And if we set wider margins, it of course is also gonna work. So let's set, for example, 40. Oh, well, wait, did I say wider margins? Well, I meant smaller margins, so wider, like text width thing. So yeah, it works perfectly fine now. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to show you this quick fix. So yeah, have a nice day.